Hey, I'm Kev Hillman, so welcome back to MXGP Pro, where Kev Hillman's off the back of a superb outing in Italy. Let's see if we can continue round Portugal. So here goes Hillman then, for his qualifying that on his Portuguese circuit. And see softy, soft surface on the top. This is what he loves. So it could be another very good couple of races, we will see. Doesn't quite clear that tabletop though. As what the hell is that behind? Felt like someone tried to catch him in the net. Obviously failed. Or was that just the puddle sound effects? He just went through one there as we go downhill. Got a very good guide in front. Hillman keeping up. Hopefully a fast guide as well. There's all sliding wide there, but it doesn't matter on this surface, which is fantastic for him. Just as you saw in Italy last time out. Just dominated the opposition. Well, I say dominated, he got a bit close in it with Jonas. As he's got to be at 144. Got to be close to that at the end of this. It's got a bit of a whoop section here. Bit of a sideways whoop section here. Let's go downhill. Into the left. But be careful. Not going too wide. Let's get out of here, tour guide. I think we know the... No, we don't know the circuit. Okay. Let's go past the cruise. Where's our tour guide going there? Well, the unconventional as we cross the line. It's a high 44. It's third. As it's Jonas at the top head of Siwa. There's Hillman in third on his Kawasaki. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 with Patrell. Then you've got Prado, Olsen, Leiber, Bogies, Covington on the Hasfinder down in 9th. And Hunter Launch rounds out the top 10 of the Italian. Conrad Muse, in 12th. Right at the back is Zaragoza. So, let's see if Hillman can do well in the race. On the outside, I'm guessing. Going to go around the outside, everyone. Have the lead by the second corner or something. So here is Hillman revving up on the outside alongside Zaragoza and the Frenchman. Zaragoza very good to go. So we get underway for the first moto as everyone goes wide. And Hillman blasts through into the lead, takes the whole shot. When is he ever going to take the whole shot? What a miracle, we've wrecked this there. See, we're up to second, Jonas behind. Now Hillman, you just got to hold on to this for around 33 or 34 minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Around this clay surface we've got here. Very soft surface. As Jonas is down for third. And the championship contenders rejoice as Covington up to second. We've got Siwa and Bogies. And Leiber up to third. What is going on behind? We've got a battle royale going on for the podium places on this opening lap. But so far for Hillman, it's plain sailing. We say that, he almost rode off the track there. There's now Covington and Bogies are battling over second. Let's go into the final corner. Hillman leads after one lap, led after one corner. Miracle hole shot. Now he's just got to keep it together for another 20 laps. More like 19, isn't it? Of how long the lap is round it. What a tricky lap it is. Oh, that is water. That's what the loud splashing is. Doesn't really feel like water though. Just sounds like it. And so your surface is mostly dry anyway. It's not that tricky in what's meant to be wet on this clay surface. It's Covington and Bogues still debating who should be second. Looks like the Americans winning that battle. No, Bogues back by immediately. Hillman a bit wide there. And through the jump and using some rear brake for once. Maybe got to use the rear brake a bit more around here. Oh, he's got to be careful not to slow down too much into some corners. So you can see there, just using the rear brake on the turn-in, just helping to get that rear round. Seems to help. Didn't help over that jump though, got a bit too rearward. As he goes past this crew, cheering him on. Telling him to lead by a bit more than what he's doing at the moment, and he does a 42.5. Commanding out the front. To go for the right hand. He's just taken to this track like a duck to water in the race. Normally in the first race he's not this good, Hillman. Well, this is championship hunting Hillman. We've seen him turn it on in the past in Supercross, MXGP2, or MX2 should I say, in MXGP. And he's doing it again at MX2 level. As he's been an outsider in this title battle the whole season long. We're approaching the final third of the season, and now it's just hotting up a bit. Jonas might have a comfortable looking lead at the moment over a race win. Moving down at the moment. And coming to near the front. As well, where's Hillman going? Luckily, Spider-Man got to the rescue. They managed to launch him back onto the track, but that was scary for the spectators and Hillman. And that's one. We're playing the drinking game. It took almost 5 minutes, so that's pretty good for Hillman standards. Still not the cleanest race. If he just kept the mistakes down early in the season, he probably would be leading the championship. Or at least be within a race win of Jonas. So he's left himself quite a lot to do. As Pat Trail up to third and ahead of Leiber. Here comes the Yamaha. Now the KTM. And the KTM with Bogues as well. And we've got the Hasfarn of Covington right up there. And of course, we've got the Kawasaki leading. And the main KTM we're watching out for, of course, is of the Latvian. He must be quite high up the order still. Maybe in the top 10 even. No, these riders tend to pick up their bikes very quickly. Or they have, you know, Spider-Man on hand to help them pick up their bikes. So that splashing is so distracting. It's not even that deep, the water. Why is it splashing so loudly? Could understand if we had just like a pond in the middle of the corner, but I don't see any pond there. So once again, doesn't quite make that triple. That's the point from Hillman. So there you go, he actually brakes for this corner now. It's always a good tactic, brake for corners. Make sure you go around them. So that was a bit out of line. He's keeping it going. And now he's just bunny hopping. Oh, where are you going, Hillman? Into the sign! That is not the art of racing. Neither is that. Oh, that's helmet. You know, he's just demonstrating for the sponsors how good the helmet is. But 2 mistakes. Means Covington leads. Or dead. Hillman takes it immediately back, like, this is mine. No one else will touch this from now on. For the next 23 and a bit minutes of this race. We'll see if that turns out to be true. Well, that was a bit of a mare over that. 46, lost 4 seconds at that, did Hillman. Takes him doing some advertising. Remember, you've got to please your sponsors after the race, you know. That's when you shout them out, not during the race. As now he's doing, I think mud baths was that one for the local spa. Hillman just losing it a bit. Now that's 4 mistakes in the first third of the race. You'll only split these races into 3. First third is all about being up the front for Hillman. Well, he could definitely accomplish that, but also try and be mistake-free. Well, he didn't accomplish that. That's where's Covington going? Just gives the lead to Hillman back. Like, I don't want this. Maybe that's what Hillman's doing wrong. Maybe no one wants to lead this race. That's the issue. Against the track, which is apparently drying out, I think. Because of all the sound effects, see? I'm guessing it's going to be drying out as the race goes on. Maybe no one wants to be first on the track and counter these corners first. Counter the different grip levels. It's once again so tricky over that right hand. That might be the trickiest corner on the circuit, just because you have that whoop section beforehand. It's just about getting into the rhythm as now Hillman's advertising, I think, drifting, Formula D. I know he's advertising the leathers. It's, whoa, Covington! Face plants. And so Pat Terrell's now second. Hillman again lost like 4 seconds at that. It's now 5 mistakes. Remember, Hillman's trying to keep his mistakes down to single figures or even mistake-free races, but it's been abysmal in this first third. But so have most riders, it seems, this race. Luckily for Hillman, that's why he still leads. Oh, and he's also got some pace around it, I guess. But mostly he's just been a very lucky man. Especially as Covington's taken the lead a couple of times and he's just immediately gifted it back. Like I said, it's a hot potato that no one wants. Of course, they will want it. And the display comes up at the end of the race, around 23 minutes' time. As we come and approach the end of the first third of the race, and it's been hectic. It's been messy. But it's been what Hillman's wanted. As he's not seen Jonas behind. Instead, it's Patro and Covington recovering after his faceplant. Battling for second. The Yamaha on his Husqvarna. There's no Jonas in sight after his early fall, which is a bit surprising. I thought Jonas would be coming back quite quickly, but then he does tend to speed up as these things go on. Might just be biding his time as the first third of the race is complete. And Hillman does a 41 flat to celebrate. That is more like it time-wise. Annihilates that 42.5 he done previously. See, maybe he does have pace around here. As with this clay, so it's been a bit softer as well, being able to slide that bike a bit more, not too far as we've seen, but able to slide the bike into the corners, use a bit of the rear brake, help get that rear end round as well on this surface, like it actually grips that brake a bit too well, as we've already previously seen the two. Oh yeah, it's just the surface that works for Hillman. A bit like in Italy as well, you know, a bit of a hard surface but a soft top. Well, with this clay, it's just soft. Especially with the wet patches as well, but then the bike can get stuck in there. That's why you're seeing maybe a bit some wider lines in the softer parts. Very soft parts from Hillman. That's why he's not hitting many apex. You can see that's where all the water is in all these corners. It goes downhill and through the left. You can see that is all rear brake there, getting that bike turned around. But very nice. There he goes, sliding a bit too much. Hillman, and he's down. Hillman, stop advertising for. I can't see what's on the yellow patches there. I think it's a local company that Hillman's advertising for. He's just been a marketing whore this race. Advertising the helmets, the leathers, mud baths, or clay baths. There's Prado's into third. We've seen a KTM then, a works KTM up here. At almost the halfway mark of the race. It took a long time for them to appear, but As I said, they take their time sometimes to get going. And so Prado up to third. On the podium spots for the Spaniard. Remember, he's chasing the title along with Covington. Along with Olsen. Where's Olsen? It's Prado up to second now ahead of Covington. Well, Covington's battling with the Frenchman. So it's the KTM that is launching itself towards the top, but it's not the one we expected, maybe. It's not Jonas. Still no word of where the Latvian is. As Patriel fights immediately back on his Yamaha. Taking back second. As you can see, everyone's to the side of Hillman. With all these mistakes he's been making, 6 of them now. It's just not pulling away, despite obviously having the pace. 41 flat. I don't think anyone's getting close to that. We will see. Because you saw in qualifying, it's a 42 flat. Or very low 42. That's the benchmark. Maybe you see with this track drying out a bit. See if they make that time quicker or slower. So go Hillman back into the 42s immediately, on and down. Now he's advertising stabilisers, I think, because he needs them in this race. He's been dreadful, mistakes-wise. 7 mistakes. We're not even halfway through the race. He's going to be near 20 by the end of this race. Lucky he's got the pace that he's leading, but still. Got to keep it going. Got to keep it upright, Hillman. Because you might make a mistake 1 too many in the final 5 minutes, and then you'll find yourself down in 5th with Jonas winning, and you'll be like, what the heck happened there? Why did I let that go away? Like you've done previously this season. Because every point counts now. I think Covington realises that. He's back up to third. Prado in second, as you can see, to the left-hand side. See, they're not far behind. It's only a couple seconds, maybe, is the gap for Hillman. It's not a big gap at all. But that was a poor landing. And you can see that upset the run into the hairpin. As we approach halfway mark of this race. First one in Portugal. And Hillman is just being idiotic again. Going wide there. Did not need to do that. Maybe been carrying way too much pace as well into that right hander. We'll go past this crew. Probably tell him to calm the fuck down. Let's see if he can do that in the second half of the race. No mistakes from Hillman. You can see a bit softer in that landing. Not carrying as much speed over the jump this time. But then it is still the first race. Hillman is a bit sloppy in first races. Second race, he'll probably make like 3 mistakes, but I think he did that 1 lap in this race. Well, there's been a bit of a break since Italy as well. Hillman been on the beach partying. Or at least he thinks he was partying on the beach. I think he just got drunk after like a beer and just blacked out. Didn't know where he was. And woke up on his sofa. I think he was actually just in VR, maybe. And that's what all the rich, cool kids are doing. So he thought he'd join in. Well, that's how you can practice in the future. You never know. These simulations using VR and instead of actually going out there like we see with motor racing such as F1 or IndyCar, how they simulate everything. See, like IndyCar simulates changes to the vehicles and the tyres as well. Firestone modding and that. Dallara having their own simulator. And of course each F1 team having their own simulator, simulated driver, putting in countless hours. Probably go blind by the time they're 40, thanks to that. Or need glasses by the time they're 30. I can imagine riders also doing it, having VR of this track. Maybe not modelled exactly with modern technology, but they modelled quite accurately. And so they can just visualise how to go around it. That would be pretty neat. I also thought, Grand Prix motorcycle riders as well. So they've just turned up at the track in this, with the simulators. Just turn up at the factory. Same Bologna for Ducati, or Japan for Yamaha or Suzuki or Honda. Just turn up and that's what you're doing, Hillman. I don't know why he's advertising Tony Hawk. That has not been around for a while. The last one wasn't that good. But you could see that for riders in the future, maybe. VR in round circuits before they come here. I mean, they already do play video games sometimes, even drivers as well. Help them learn circuits. Remember when Jenson Button, back in 2000, when he got called up by Williams after driving in F3, then the F1 games to learn the circuits back in 2000. Of course, now in the simulators, they have all the circuits loaded for the simulator drivers to learn the circuits. The lack of testing. Yeah, you can see that with VR, definitely. With driving and riding. Because lots of people already use VR for driving. Maybe not so much for riding, because of motion sickness and everything. And not many companies are doing it as far as I'm aware. Supporting VR for bike racing, but as I said, you never know in the future. That could be really cool. It's in this middle third. Hillman has at least cut out the mistakes in this second of this race. I know it's 8, but it's only been a couple, which isn't too bad for him. And he's leading by a country mile. I'm not sure anyone's in the same area code now, despite all his mistakes. As Patchell back up to third ahead of Covington. That battle is still raging as we go into the final third of the race. Got Prado in second, remember. No queue. Where Jonas, the championship leader, is. Where Olsen, one of the championship contenders, is. We've got 3 of the championship contenders. Prado, Covington and Hillman potentially on the podium. But the top 2, I believe, nowhere to be seen. Of course, they could just be 5th and 6th. Which probably makes sense. And especially with Jonas having his accident early on, I can imagine him battling through already. And being top 5, but also you never know. Seems to be a bit up and down with the Dane. Bit more compared to his teammate Covington. They've got around, I imagine 6 or 7 laps left now. Actually, no, it's a long lap round. It's probably 5 or 6. Actually, saying that, it's probably 6 or 7 now. Because I forget about the laps headed at the end as well, not just the time limit. This has still got Vape Nation to the side. Only a small Vape Nation round here though. Not very big here in Portugal. It's not like you see in Latvia, for instance. Got a big Vape Nation there. Got loads of flag waving though. Which is pretty cool to see. Got palm trees as well. Tropical trees. Just noticed that to the side. So we're back into the 41s, high 41s. But he just needs to do that consistently at that pace. He's easily got this in the bag. This goes downhill. Through the left. See, now he's got the hang of this circuit. It's a nice flowing circuit. Maybe not as flowing as some of the circuits. Like some of the Italian ones, but still it is quite wonderful how it just mends the glider with these high speed corners, the undulation as well, and then with the second gear corners like that as well. You've got the jumps. The whoop section is probably the only thing that actually doesn't feel like it kind of flows. Or maybe it's because just Hillman can't take the whoop section properly. We'll see on this lap. It's just showing off now, doing a wheelie out the corner. Bit early to do that, Hillman, especially with your track record this race. Yeah, you've got 6.5 minutes left. Just putting down the disrespect on everyone, isn't he? So going nicely out the right hand and in the left. One of the trickiest corners on the circuit because he actually carries speed through there and you're going to go in sideways as well. Landing it. And with another mid 41. These are consistently in the 41s now. Showing very consistent times. And showing that it's at home around this clay surface circuit. There should be a good dent in the championship as well. Probably not to Covington or to Prado, but maybe to Olsen. And most importantly, Jonas as well. So almost made a mistake there. And they just pull that bike back in time in the air. And that left-hander's got much easier as the race has gone on, it feels like, or it's just getting used to that left-hander. I've seen quite a few riders just go wide there for some reason, such as Covington giving the lead back to Hillman. Well, it doesn't seem to be that bad a corner. And we're getting none of the puddle noise as well, so maybe those puddles have kind of dried out a bit. Into the surface being a bit more consistent as well. Now ending more consistent lap times, more consistent lines, just making the course a bit easier to ride now. Even though it does dry out the surface a bit, there could be some tough patches. But there seems to be particularly hot out there. And the sun appearing to go down slightly. It's kind of a late afternoon. So it just sets another 41. Incredibly consistent in that 41 mark. I wonder if he's going to be lapping anyone. Because we've got around 4 or 5 laps remaining. Depends how quick he can do these next couple of laps. Because I believe we would have 4 left, if my maths is correct. But it sounds like he's getting close to riders as there's Jonas. He's appeared in 4th. Oh, Jonas, he's not losing much at all then. Always gets the top 5. Death taxes top 5 for Jonas. He's doing it again, battling with Patriel over the last podium spot, I believe. He could even get on the podium. So it'd be Hillman winning, but then it'd be the KTM to second and third. That would not be good at all. And Patrick doing his best to hold him off. Compton giving up the fight, it seems. And Hillman might actually be lapping riders. See one in front. So go downhill through the left. Taking that wide line. Through the left. And yeah, it looks like he will be lapping riders. Despite everything this race, the fact he has, that rider just messed up. Well, Covington did earlier. Hillman dropped into the 42s. Terrible that time. But at least that's the only thing that's terrible now in the race for Hillman. So of actually going off and making silly mistakes, just to say that. Makes a silly mistake. Easy clears that tabletop as well. So just think of the championship implications then from this race. So Hillman will be gaining back some points, but he still will be race winning a bit behind, race winning a half behind. So he's still got lots of work to do, but at least it's heading in the right direction for Hillman. He's getting into a room, he's building up momentum in this championship. And that's a great thing about building momentum. It's very hard to stop. I know it can stop on a dime sometimes. At the moment, Ray's riding round here. He wouldn't bet against him just dominating race 2 either. Make it another double. Another perfect overall victory as well. So there you go. Trying to get past to that rider. This could be tricky for Hillman. Oh, just shoves it down the inside. Oh, that rider not taking any of it. Oh, and then messes themselves up. Serves them right. Trying to battle the leader. He's got another rider down in front. As Hillman sets a new fast at 40.3. With, I think we now got 3 laps to go. Not sure. Slowing down at all. He's in fact speeding up as Jonas takes back that podium spot from Patriel. Yamaha dropping back. And this final third for him was all about grabbing the victory. He's done more than that. He's dominated this field. And look at, he's just lapping riders for fun now. Even though they're not liking it. They want the fight back. But there's nothing they can do against the man in this form. Man, we have expected to see earlier season in this form, but it's taken a while to get back into the groove in MX2 after his adventure in Supercross. There have been rumours he might be heading back to Supercross. There's also been stronger rumours that he might be retiring after maybe one last shot at MXGP. We'll see if he steps up with Kawasaki as well. How about the Belgium? Clement Desailly. As he went down the inside. Right, they're shoving their way back by though. And a bit slow over the jump though. So Hillman gets to run. Let's go for the final corner. Back into the 41s. 2 laps to go for Hillman. The most important thing about this final third as well, you know, apart from just strolling away from everyone, lapping riders for fun and just getting into that rhythm, being very comfortable. It's almost like he's in the zone because he has not been in a state for ages. Touch wood. Only at the beginning of this final third of the race, so shows how much he has got used to this track. Seems like every rider as well. It's just only in those first couple of laps. It was a bit crazy at the start. Everyone just bunched up. It's not the riders track. And again, the Opton line is only, you know, 1 or 2 routes really. Also didn't help he had the water a bit more promptly, causing some issues maybe. But he has just calmed down into a procession at the front, unfortunately, after all those mistakes. As I think Hillman's only made 2 in the second half of the race compared to, I think it was 6 in the first half. Might not even reach double figures, isn't it? Like he's going to reach, as I said, 20 early on. Because you've got a couple of riders in front to that. Well, you do that before the end. Away, be merciful to them. Not let them suffer the humiliation of being that. And MX2 event. World Championship MX2 event as well. That was a bit of a dodgy line, a bit too much cut in there. Trying to go through the left, but gets away with it this time. Maybe trying to, track servers a bit more forgiving as well, because we did that early in the race and Hillman went flying into Mudbath advertisement. Oh, sorry, was it facials or clay? I forget now. He's advertised so many things this race. As he closes in on his prey. Is that Library he was batting with earlier in the race? No, it's his teammate, it looks like. He does not want to get that. Bowman says, no choice. You're getting that. He gets sideways, shows him the wheel a bit. As Jonas is down from third. He began the race with a crash and he ends it with one. So Patro up into that position on his Yamaha. So that could that be the Latvian off the podium as Hillman just very aggressive lapping riders. Like I'm giving you a break. I'm letting you heal. And I'm taking one less lap. That will tax you this race. It's actually just being a gentleman. Hillman. And I'm not sure the riders will see that when they see that Hillman has won by a country mile. So after 20 laps, Hillman wins by 30.5 seconds ahead of Prado. It really was a possession in the end. As the Spaniard was 10 seconds ahead of Pacho. Jonas in 4th, ahead of Olsen. Seawer, Leiber, Covington dropped to 8th. In the end, what happened to the American? With Muse having a good finish in 9th, ahead of Bogues, the early leader. Before he got a concussion, it looked like. And then we had Hunter Lawrence in 11th, who returned from Australia to finish the race. And right at the back is Petrov. Oh, that's sad to see. So 25 points for Hillman, but can he complete the job and make it a perfect weekend by winning the second race? So for watching and find out if he does next time.